Hello, this is Brett Wild, and I've got something a little different today. I've taken up a challenge. One of my favorite YouTube channels is called Backcountry 182, and this is a real pilot flying a Cessna 182 in and out of some very small, well, not even airports. He lands on some grass, gravel, dirt strips in various places in the US, and it looks like South America. And in this particular video I was watching, he was flying in Idaho, central Idaho in the Rockies. So I thought, hey, I'm going to try that. So you can see on the map here my route, very short in terms of mileage, but I start there at Bernard, USFS, and it's Uniform 54. That's the airport. And I fly down to Lower Loon, and that just happens to be the one that attracted my attention in his video, and that is the most difficult one. And I did have to try it a couple of times, and you can see that even then I was not able to come to a complete stop before overshooting the end of the runway. But it might be a fun challenge for you to take up. It's really tests your flying skills and gets you back to the basics. You get to do some short field, rough field landings and takeoffs. So give it a whirl. I suggest, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, because I've got a total of 5 landings here, at least watch that first segment, Lower Loon. And then on the very last segment, I just tacked on a landing at Upper Loon, and I was rather high because I didn't see it coming. So I did kind of a crazy descent and managed to get it down on the ground. So that might be kind of fun. All this is pretty dangerous stuff. You wouldn't want to actually do this in a real plane unless you were highly skilled, but this is a simulator, and I only have my computer to crash. So without further ado, so first of all, let's take off to the north. So short field or rough field takeoff and short field takeoff. So I'm gonna stand on the brakes, but can't really stand on the brakes in X-plane, at least with this airplane. And then yoke back into my gut, try to get that wheel off the ground, and as soon as we get airborne, push the nose down a little bit to build up some speed before retracting those flaps. And I'm going to fly with the gear down just to get as close as I can to a 182. So here we go. Okay, brakes released. Yoke all the way back. 1 notch of flaps. Airborne, nose down. Build up some speed, head for that canyon. Still want to climb. I'm not going to touch my power. Building up to 80. All right, flaps up. And we'll just keep climbing up through this canyon until we get to a place where we can turn around. And I'm going to hold it about 80. It's hard to see over the nose, so I'm going to cheat. Okay, prop back. Clear this ridge. and back over the airport towards the other valley. So no reason to cruise actually through the valley, I found. We'll have time to get down. I found it kind of interesting that you can see that they've got a marker on the ground that shows pattern, a love pattern, but I don't know how you could fly a pattern there. And that's a private strip, grass strip there. So we'll just fly along here for a while. So this is us, and we're now headed in this direction. So why don't I have you join me when we get a little bit closer to Lower Loon? Otherwise, you're just gonna look out at some mountains here. Down in the valley. So the airport is right over here. This clearing, want to clear that ridge. I'm gonna cheat, guys. I gotta see where I'm going, because I can't sit up in my seat high enough. Yeah, I think we'll clear it. Notch of flaps. $4,200 feet. So full flaps. It's hard to get the power just right. It is a short runway. Okay, power all the way off. Get that wheel down. That's emergency brakes, guys. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. So much for the brakes on this thing. Sorry. All right, let's take off to the west to our next airport. All right, take off from Lower Loon. I've got a notch of flaps, I think. Yep, and we're going to have to turn around in that canyon straight ahead. So brake is on, full power, release the brake, yoke all the way back, avoid that tree at the end, nose down, build a little speed. Normally I'd be putting the gear up. All right, so flaps are up. I hate to do too steep of a turn at this low speed. Almost tore the wheels off. All right. Let's roughen up our pitch and pull back on the power and fly on down the canyon. This runway is longer and a much easier approach than Lower Loon, so we shouldn't have a huge problem. Second notch of flaps. Gear is down. Prop is up to fine now, so we're ready in case we have to do a go around. Just a slow descent. So you can see the runway is slightly angled to our left. So we'll pop over this ridge here. Final notch of flaps. And get lined up. No trees to go through on this one. Bit of a float. Brakes on. So you can see the canyon just off to our left that we're gonna fly down into to get to Thomas Creek, our next airport. All right, let me get this thing turned around and we'll head in that direction. Okay, Mahoney Creek, taking off and headed down towards Thomas Creek. Let me just pull the map over. Again, this is X airports. So we are here. So we started up in Bernard, flew down to Lower Loon, then to Mahoney Creek. Next is Thomas Creek. Very short jaunt, and we'll end up finally at Indian Creek as our final destination. So here we go. Stand on the brakes. back on our RPM and manifold pressure. Alright, we got some slowing down to do here. You can see the runway about 10 o'clock. Notch of flaps. Second notch of flaps. This is not a grass runway, this is some sort of hard surface. Need to get lined up here. Kind of sloppy. There's actually a little office here or something. Not real sure what that is. All right, well that wasn't too bad, was it? So let's head to our final destination. Let me just get things turned around. Back in a second. So we're gonna have to make a sharp U-turn here. And I don't know if I can do it within this canyon. Looks a little dicey. So I might have to head up into this canyon. So notch of flaps. Stand on the brakes, full power, release those brakes, yoke back, that nose down, build up some speed. Well, we might be able to make this turn. Flaps up. Well, that was a little dicey. All right, back on our RPMs, back on our manifold pressure, and over that really bizarre ridge there. Every once in a while, X-plane fails. So we're going to bear to the left, and we're headed towards Indian Creek. And we've got some water, such as it is. So we are coming up on that runway, and still 500 feet. Slow things down. Notch of flaps. you can see our runway about 10 o'clock. Second notch. Feet to go. This is a nice long runway. It's a really long runway. Just 2 notches of flaps. And we'll slam on the brakes. Get off the runway. Probably left a lot of dust. No, not too bad. So I've decided to take on another airport, and that's Upper Loon. We went into Lower Loon. Let me show you. Upper Loon is right here, so we're going to fly up this canyon here. Lower Loon was up in this direction, if you recall. All right, let's get down. See if I can find it. Uh-oh, that's it right there. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? That looks like a pretty easy one anyway. This is at 5,500. I feel like I'm doing some barnstorming here. Power all the way off. High performance airplanes need some time to slow down. Well, hopefully the gear will help. Couple notches of flaps. So much for that tree. All right, that was barnstorming. Brakes on. Great fun, but you don't have to worry about anything but crashing your computer. All right, that ends our journey, folks. Thanks for joining.